Howdy partners, welcome back to the channel, and this is going to be a start to a new series I'm titling Past vs. Present, where I'll be talking about operators for Rainbow Six Siege and how they've changed through the years since their release. Today, I felt like why not start with FINKA, which by now in Year 7 Season 2, I'm sure you have been seeing a lot lately, considering she has the largest pick rate and win rate amongst any attacking operator in the game right now. Now, why is that? Well, to answer that, we first need to go back all the way to her release in March of 2018, Year 3, Season 1, Operation Chimera. She was released alongside the GIGN attacking operator Lion because at the time, Ubisoft was still releasing 2 operators at a time. Now, Lion was an absolute nightmare at release, having a 100% pick rate in the Pro League scene, but paired with the Spetsnaz operator FINKA, it was about as broken as the game could possibly get. Lion basically had wall hacks, and FINKA literally had to press one button, and her teammates and herself would gain the following effects: a temporary health buff of 20 HP, an ADS buff which would let you aim down sights 50% faster, a barbed wire movement buff that would allow you to move through, you guessed it, barbed wire 30% faster, a recoil buff which would decrease the amount of recoil on any weapon you are using, turning the attacking rounds into a point-and-click adventure style game, a reload buff that would allow you to reload 50% faster, a flashbang buff which would allow you to recover from the effects of flashbangs and Gersmont mines 50% faster, and finally, a revive buff that would allow you to pick up any downed friendly as long as they were not in a frost mat, giving them a temporary 25 HP for the duration of the surge, and then, when it wore off, they would go back down to 5 HP. All of these buffs only lasted for the duration of the boost, but at release, FINKA had 3 surges, which she still does now, but the difference is, back at release, these surges would last for 20 seconds, and had a 20-second cooldown, meaning the second the surge was over, you could just reactivate it. Meaning, it was actually possible to have these buffs for an entire minute out of a 3-minute long round. Now, you're probably asking, damn, FINKA sounded insanely overpowered. How did she not get reworked? And the simple answer is, she just wasn't picked enough. As you can see on this chart here, which is a season after FINKA released, you'll notice she had the highest win rate out of any attacker. But you'll also notice her pick rate is insanely low. She had less than a 10% presence in the Platinum and Diamond ranked scene. At the time, the meta for attack was people like Ashe, Twitch, Sophia, Habana, maybe a roam clear like Dokkaebi or Lion. And so people like Ashe, Twitch, and Sophia had yet to be nerfed, so there was really no point in bringing utility like FINKA when you could just gun everyone down with a pre-patched R4C. Now, in the test server for Year 3 Season 3, Operation Grim Sky, they toned FINKA down a little bit by giving her a well-needed nerf, so they reduced her ability's duration from 20 seconds down to 10 seconds, and the ADS buff was reduced from 50% down to 25%, making it just a little bit slower whenever that surge is active. But they also decided to replace her stun grenades with frag grenades for some reason, so it pretty much balanced itself out. Another patch came later in the Year 3 Season 3 where they buffed FINKA's Spear 308 because the damage falloff was too high, but other than that, there didn't seem to be any other changes for FINKA that season, so she was still very much a sleeper operator. And with her newly acquired frag grenades and the slightly nerfed operators in the meta, she could do some serious potential damage. But nothing really happened with her. There was a patch in Year 4 Season 4 where they buffed the Spear 308's damage up to 42, previously from 38, but then it got silent again. In Year 5 Season 2, they released another win delta for S, and wow, FINKA had taken some hits. Now, to be fair, she still had the second highest win rate amongst the attackers, but she was seen even less and was generally one of the least picked operators. Now, when Year 5 Season 3, Operation Shadow Legacy released, they made all these brand new optics and scopes and whatnot, so what they did with FINKA is they took her ACOG away from the spear and then put a 2x on it. not bad. It's only a 0.5 reduction in the case of magnification. And then they put a 1.5 scope on our LMG, so that's pretty cool. I guess. Sort of. Not really. And somehow with that change, it made her pick rate even worse. Yeah, even worse. Once again, still a decent win rate. 4th highest on the attacking team. But Fuse, Blackbeard, and Blitz all had higher pick rates and win rates than her. But then, after some time, something happened in Year 6, Season 2. She ended up actually getting even worse. Yeah, it actually got worse. Believe it or not, it ended up getting even worse. FINKA had somehow managed to weasel her way from irrelevancy down to absolutely borderline useless. It didn't matter what she brought to the table at this point. Something had to change if she was going to be picked for any reason ever again. But then, something actually happened. It wasn't a buff, it wasn't a nerf to other operators. Believe it or not, through all the toxicity, babbling nonsense, and utter chaos, it was actually the community who gave FINKA new life. You see, Zophia's assault rifle got nerfed. And I mean nerfed into the floor nerfed. So, people decided to try out her other weapon, the LMGE. Everyone loved this weapon, and I mean really loved this weapon. They saw how well it worked, especially since the meta right now is a whole lot of pre-firing, so what better weapon to do that with than a weapon with 150 bullets in each mag? But then they took it one step further. The only thing that's better than that is an LMG on steroids. So, they took FINKA's lifeless husk out of the river of uselessness and gave her not just a makeover, but made her an unstoppable force. Combine that with, say, another LMG like Zofia, a Blitz, a Nook to sneak around back with all the commotion going on, and the strongest AR in the game, aka the AK-12, on a person who can fire 6 hockey pucks made of dynamite in a room, who can do it 4 times, and you have one of the most dreadful defense games you've ever played. I would say slowly but surely FINKA came back, but that simply isn't true. FINKA came back in mere weeks and dominated the ranked scene so much that as of now in Year 7 Season 2, Poopysoft is trying to find a new way to nerf LMGs because of how well FINKA and Zofia performed. It took forever to get Ubisoft to fix Lion, or fix Ash, or fix lean spam, crouch spam, spawn peaks, cheaters, sound bugs, visual glitches, map designs, team killing, griefing, vote to kick, playlist changes, MMR systems, elo boosters, elo glitchers, elo trappers, and so much more. But FINKA's ability and weapon have dominated so much recently that it's only took them one season to say, we need to rework LMGs. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if I were to see a change that fast in a game that I didn't play, I would have just assumed that it must have been extremely overpowered. Now, of course, she does need a nerf, and the game will need to go back into a balance of power again, but eventually, someone somewhere will find that new meta. They will find a new exploit, they will find a new way to make the game annoying again. It is what it is. But you can't lie, after FINKA's random surge, you see what I did there? No? Okay, I'll stop. But she did make the game interesting again. And it was a little satisfying to hit extremely undeserved 3Ks and 4Ks just because of her ability and weapon. As an ex-champ myself, it does suck to have to play against it sometimes because broken mechanics, bugs, or certain metas do have an effect on the way the game plays out. So even if you truly believe your team will win because you have the better players, what ends up happening is some of these exploits or glitches can get in the way and you will ultimately lose either by luck or just something unfair. On the casual side of things, it hasn't really seen much daylight due to casual just kind of being random people playing random operators, mostly to do their battle pass challenges, but it is still fun nevertheless. But that's pretty much it for FINKA so far. I'm sure Ubi has a massive nerf hammer the size of Blackbeard coming down on FINKA pretty soon, but until then, I'd say enjoy playing her while you can. But thank you all so much for staying to the end. It really does mean a lot to me. And leave a like if you enjoyed. Leave a thumbs down if you did. And I'll see you partners in the next video. See ya.
I lost my mind and I'm never going back.